later, around 10 years.
Okay, we're about ready to start. My name is Shelley Goldberg, and I'm the current president of the Computer Club. I'd like to welcome everybody here, and we're going to have a presentation today from the library, but first we have a few things that we do each month. So our agenda for today, we'll be doing a financial report. We'll talk about our membership, Computer Club matters. We'll talk about our classes that we offer, some community matters, and as this meeting is open to everybody, so you don't have to be a member to be here. So we are part of the community, so we will discuss that. We'll have a mini holiday gift guide that we'll talk about, since we do have a feature presentation from the library today. So I know in the past sometimes we've had a full presentation on holiday gifts. We'll be doing a little bit today, and we'll be doing a little bit, kind of splitting it up a little. So we will have some more for you next month as well. And then we'll get to our feature presentation. So first, looking at our financial report, which hasn't changed too much from last month. We're still in pretty good shape. We have purchase renewals for the Office, Microsoft Office 365s in our lab. So that was an expense we had this month. Other than that, we're pretty much similar, as I say, to last month. Our membership, we are currently at 1,599 members. So if there's one person here that's not a member and you want to join today, you can get up to 1,600.
Did they get a discount?
Okay, and going on to Computer Club matters. We have been holding meetings on Saturdays here, the first Saturday, or rather the second Saturday of each month. We did have a couple of exceptions to that. And next month will be the very last Saturday, the very last time that we'll be doing it on the second Saturday, because in 2020 we are switching to Thursdays. So we'll be meeting here on the second Thursday of each month, beginning on January 9th. So for next month, come on the second Saturday as usual. It'll be December 14th. But then in January, come on Thursday, January 9th, and then again Thursday in February the 13th, and Thursday in March the 12th.
Same time?
Same time, 9 o'clock, but come at 8:30 and partake in our delicious donuts and coffee. And this month is, of course, Thanksgiving, so we want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. And do want to make note that we are usually open on Thursdays in our lab. Thanksgiving Day we will not be open, so hopefully you'll be celebrating the holiday in other ways. And the lab is open on Mondays and Thursdays from 9 to 12, 9 to noon. And then again on Tuesday evenings, we're open from 5:30 to 8:30. So you can come in with any kinds of problems with computers, phones, tablets, whatever you have that you want some help with, we're here to help you. All you have to do is become a member. So if you're not a member, please join. When you do come in, remember to bring your passwords with you. Sometimes people forget their passwords, and we're trying to help them with a particular problem. And if you don't have their passwords, and they have to go home and they have it written down somewhere, and it's just an extra trick. So bring it with you unless you know it already. And always check our newsletters and mailings, emailings to you for different types of announcements, class schedules, and so on. We have two groups that are part of the computer club, and that's the photography group. Our photography group meets on the first Wednesday of each month. We are on a winter recess. We just met this past Wednesday. So the photography group will be taking pictures throughout the winter, but we'll formally meet again on April the 1st, the first Wednesday. And then we have an Apple group that meets on the second and fourth Tuesdays at 9 o'clock, also in the lab at Meadowview. We have a full schedule of classes, and the classes are always free. So what you're looking at there are a few of our classes that we have scheduled for the month of November. We have an iPhone class on this coming Tuesday, and that's at 1 o'clock. We have 2 Android classes, one on Wednesday of next week at 10:30 in the morning, and one on Thursday, the 21st of November at 7 o'clock in the evening. And then we have a class on Microsoft OneDrive, and that will be on Wednesday, the 13th as well. That's in the evening at 6:30. And all the classes are in our lab, and as I said, they're always all free, as long as you're a member. So we need that 1600th member to join.
That's not to put you asleep, that's to make it a little more busy.
Yeah. Thank you.
Better. Or take your pick.
And going on to community matters, our next board meeting for Sun City will be on Wednesday, December the 4th at 9 a.m. and that's here in this room. We're getting into the holiday season, so there are many events that are coming up to help celebrate the holidays. Some are free, some require tickets. I just listed a couple of them on here, but what you want to do is you want to look at your lifestyles for many of the events that will be open to you to help celebrate the holidays. I know this month's the theater group is doing Kiss Me Kate. The Sun City Concert Band is going to have a concert on December the 5th and December the 7th. Tickets for that are $10. Our Sun City Prairie Singers, also on December 7th. That one's at the high school, and that one is $10. The Sun City Strutters and the Prairie Voices will be appearing here on December the 11th, and that's $5. So those are some of the things you may want to look at, but there's lots more, so always read your lifestyles. And also on Veterans Day, which is coming up, actually it will be on the day before Veterans Day, on Sunday, November the 10th, there will be a ceremony held at the Huntley Veterans Memorial downtown. There'll be a ceremony at 11, and they're also going to be doing some collections they need soaps, deodorants, paper plates, rice, body soap, paper towels, socks, canned goods, gift cards, sheet sets. So if you wanted to donate some of these things to homeless veterans, then that would be a good thing to do on Sunday, November 10th. Okay, so we're gonna talk a little bit about holiday gifts. As I said, we're just gonna be doing a short presentation on this today. So rather than giving you a more complete guide as we've done in the past, I'm gonna just try to talk about a few unique items, show you a couple of bargains that are gonna be out there. You always wanna take a look at the Black Friday sales, always offer something with a little better value than you can get than other times of the year. Look at some of the new cutting edge things, and I'll try to give you a little bit of advice on how to buy computers and so forth. And as always, if you're interested in, or if you need more information on how to select a computer or a tablet, you're welcome to come into the lab and talk to one of us there, and we'll be happy to help you.
I don't have your slides.
Whoops. Oh,
Where did you have them stashed?
oh, you don't have them?
I didn't know.
Yeah. Tell you what.
I didn't realize they were slides.
Okay, one moment.
We can do that quickly.
David, Ken. Me, Ken. There's no better one.
He didn't say that, but talk amongst yourselves. Yeah, yes, it is.
Okay, back to the few technical difficulties there. Okay, so the first item we're going to talk about is an Amazon Echo Show. It's the Echo Show 5. They've had a lot of smart speakers out. Well, this is a smart speaker that has a display screen. So it comes with a 5.5-inch display screen. As you can see, it says, Alexa, help me make chicken noodle soup. So this is something you can stick in your kitchen. And you can look at your recipes on it. You can read books or magazines on here. You can make video phone calls. You can get the weather, watch movies, same as you would do with any other tablet or a PC type thing, and you're communicating through Alexa. So this is an interesting item, and I put it up here because this is the time of year you can get these types of things at quite a large discount. This is a $90 item. Right now, they've got it on sale for $60, which is a really good price right there. If you wait Thanksgiving, they're going to put it on sale for $50. So prices fluctuate, and Black Month, or rather on Black Friday, usually you can get the best deals then. But it's you can just need to watch and see which days you get the best prices. But as I say, this is $60 going down to $50, and who knows? So this is an interesting item that you might want to look at. It's also available along with a Ring, Amazon Ring doorbell. Actually, next month, our Vice President, David Good, will be giving a presentation on doorbell systems. And doorbell systems are another great gift item that you might want to look at for the holidays. So we're seeing a lot of these combo deals where they'll give you a display screen along with the doorbell. And that gives you an opportunity, so if somebody's ringing your doorbell with one of these smart doorbells, you can talk to the Echo Show and say, and see who's at the door and actually communicate with them through this device. So, and this is also quite a good deal. Normally this is like $270, and they got it for $90 off right now. So it's $179. This is through Amazon, but you can also go to Best Buy, and you can get it at the same price there. And many times, if you see an item online, and you go to one of the stores like Best Buy, possibly Walmart as well, they will meet the price. If you bring in the ad that you saw, you might be able to get it at the same price, so you can try that. Here's another item that might make a nice gift, and it's this is a speaker. It's a Bose speaker. Bose makes excellent speakers. They have a wonderful reputation. This is the SoundTouch 10. It's a $200 speaker, which they've got selling right now for $99. These are small, but they're quite powerful. It's only 8.5 inches tall. It's a single speaker, so if you wanted stereo, you would need 2 of these. It's not a portable speaker. These are plug-in speakers. And here again, they do work with Alexa, so you can communicate it using the Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. And you don't need wires. If you want to use your phone to send music to the speakers, you can do that through Bluetooth. Here's another unique item that you might want to consider. People are into Ancestry, trying to figure out what their ancestry is, and you can now buy DNA kits. So very simply, you can test your own DNA. You send this in, and they send you a full write-up of what your ancestry is, and these go on sale now too. So these are normally about $100. Right now, this one is going for $79. But wait, on November 18th, price is coming down to $69. So it changes. But if you want to get one, this is a good time of year to buy one of these because they're going on sale. This is offered online, and this is through a website called livingdna.com, LIVING DNA.com. Another item that might be good to look at are soundbars. People are going to soundbars now rather than the big home theater speakers that you might have had in the past. And these are available in different configurations. So I'm showing, this is a particular ad from Costco. And they had, just as an example, a lot of these, like I say, are available through Best Buy, Walmart, wherever you want to shop. The one on the left is, this is normally, they're offering $50 off on that this time of year. This one happens to be online, and that's just your standard 2 channels plus a subwoofer, the one on the left. The one in the middle for $50 more, and that again is $50 less than the normal selling price for this particular model. And that adds on 2 rear speakers and as well. And all of these, by the way, have Bluetooth connections. So here again, if you want to stream movies, or rather stream music off of your phone, you can send it to these speakers with a Bluetooth connection. The one on the right is a Dolby Atmos model, which is one of the newer technologies. Dolby Atmos is it's used with if you're trying to show a lot of some of the new movies, especially some of the action movies, where they have a lot of good sound effects. The surround sound, they try to add more depth to it by firing the sound upwards, so it sounds like it's bouncing off of the ceiling. And it's quite effective. If you've never heard that before, you might want to check it out at one of the stores and see what this sounds like. So that again is this one's actually $150 off, and that one is online. The one in the middle is available at their warehouse. So there's just a couple of different ideas. Okay. Of course, some of you may be looking to buy a new computer, and there are various models of computers from beginner to advanced models. And if you're interested in or need some help in selecting a computer, very definitely come to the computer club, and we can help you do that as well. I'm showing a couple of iMacs that are available right now at Costco. These are a little bit more high-end models, but they've got very significant discounts offered for these. These again are from Costco. These are, the one on the left is a 21.5-inch model, and the one on the right is a 27-inch screen. They're offering $300 off on the one on the left, and that's available right now at the store. And the one on the right is will be available on the day after Thanksgiving for $330 off of the price. And these are pretty much your state-of-the-art iMacs, so you may want to look at some of these. When you're looking at the configurations and We'll go over, what you should be looking for. Because you can't always, get an easy feel from what they say in the headline. For example, this says, new Apple iMac 21.5-inch Intel Core i5, 3 gigahertz. It's an i5 it's not the top of the line of Intel processors, computer processors, but it is a decent processor. The thing you want to look at is they talk about the graphics. The one on the left has a 2 gigabyte graphics card. It's a Radeon Pro 560X. The one on the right has a 4 gigabytes, so it's going to have more memory of the graphics card. So, if you're into to doing gaming, especially, or different things that require higher graphics resolutions and all, those are important. The one on the right has, these have has what they call a 5K Retina display, which is a really spectacular type of display that you can get out of this the graphics card. These also have what Apple is introducing as their Fusion drives. Fusion drive is nothing more than a kind of a combination or a hybrid between a solid state drive and a magnetic hard disk drive. And the solid state gives you the advantage of when you turn on the computer, it's going to boot up instantly because it's solid state. With the magnetic hard disk drives, you have to wait a little while. In the PCs and laptops, here's an example of a 15-inch touchscreen laptop. This is a Lenovo 2-in-1. If you're selecting a laptop, you want to decide what type of laptop you want. This one is a 2-in-1. What that means is you can flip it over the way you see it there, and it becomes a tablet. Or you can use it as a conventional laptop, so you have more of a multi-purpose use. Some of the laptops don't have that. The touchscreen allows you to use especially when it's in tablet mode, you can use it as you would use any other tablet or a smartphone. You can use your fingers or a stylus to manipulate on the screen. Looking at the specs of this, you can see it has a 10th generation. That's something you may want to look at. It's a 10th generation i7 as opposed to, let's say, an 8th generation that we were just looking at with the iMac. So these are newer processors. Newer is usually better, but here again, you've got a full range of processors. So they go from i3, i5, i7, or i9. This one's an i7. But along with that, you need to you really need to look at other things on the processor as well. And these days, you really can't even look at the speeds anymore. You used to be able to say, okay, if it's a 3 gigahertz processor, that's pretty good. This one actually is a 1.8, but because the way they manufacture computer processors these days, there are a lot of other factors that go into it. So this particular one actually has 4 cores, so it's really a dual core, that's a physical dual core with 2 logical cores for each of those cores. So you're really looking at effectively 4 processors in one. So even though it says it's 1.8 gigahertz, it really is running a lot faster than that. So so those are the things you want to look at. As I say, you can always come into the lab and we can help you with that. This one has it says a 2 gigabytes graphics card. So that's fairly recent. Has a backlit keyboard. Is that's something you want? What that means is the keyboard will light up. And if you're using it in the darker area, that helps. So this one has a 12 and a half hour battery. So that's another thing you might want to look at is what's the battery life of the computers. And this is from Costco. This particular model is available right now at the store for $779. So here again, I'm just giving you these as examples. There are a lot more. So you want to go to the store and play with these. Here's another model, and this one is a standard laptop, and this one is actually going to be on sale on November 28th for $799. It's got similar specs to the other one that we just looked at, but this one, if you look at the specs, it's got a different processor. It has a longer, or rather a better graphics card. So it's another one that you might want to look at. And there are a lot more items that you certainly could look at. There are things like fitness trackers, the Fitbits, the smart watches. You might want to look at some of the cord cutting devices like a Fire Stick or a Roku. And we'll be talking a little bit more on different holiday gifts next month. And Frank wanted to show one item that you can get if you're looking for a stocking stuffer.
This is, how many of you know what a wireless headphones, the advantages of these? You just wear them and you walk around and you got your laptop or your telephone or anything on and you hear it. You don't have to carry the phone with this device. On a laptop, you got pretty much the 3-4 rooms in a house, you'll hear music. Also, this does telephone. It has a microphone in it, does everything. And it was $7.80 at Walmart. $7.80. You know, when we look back at when Wi-Fi and Bluetooth came out, it was a high price options. Now it's $7.
Yeah, and that's a bargain. That's wireless, folks. So you don't have to connect that up to your phone or anything.
Can you hear your wife on it?
Yeah, I don't know if you heard what he said, but he said if you've got the earphones on, then you may not hear your wife. And that might be a good thing. Okay, last thing I wanted to mention is this coming Friday, we will have an open house at our lab. So this will be on Friday the 15th in the morning from 10 to 12. For those of you who are not members, you can come and see what what we have to offer. For those of you who are members, come take a look at our equipment. We have all sorts of digitizing equipment at the lab to help you digitize your music collections, your photos, your old slides, what have you. And this is for not just people who need assistance with their computers, but if you have good computer knowledge, we'd like to see you as well. We always have need of people who would like to help some of the other residents here with their computer issues. So come and talk to us. We'll be there next Friday, as I say, from 10 to 12 at the lab. There'll be free refreshments for you. I know my wife said she would make some brownies or muffins, so you'll be able to get some goodies as well. And with that, we get to our feature presentation, and we have a treat this morning. Pam Cardenas from our very own Huntley Area Library will speak to us about the digital resources available at the library.
That one goes forward.
Okay. Testing. Can everyone hear me? Good. Good morning. Thank you for inviting me to speak to your group. My name is Pam Cardenas, and I'm a reference librarian at the Huntley Library. So you'll usually find me working at the information desk, answering all sorts of questions. I also spend a lot of time helping patrons with our electronic resources. I'm accompanied today by my colleague Cindy Simmons, who is at a table in the back. After I'm done today, she can sign anyone up for a library card who needs one. She can also renew your library card if it's going to expire. We're going to cover a lot this morning: our ebook and digital magazine collections, our library catalog, our language learning service, consumer reports, and the 2 services that we have for online video tutorials. I have a handout in the back that will list everything I'm talking about, so you don't have to try to remember everything. I should have been on that one all along, but that's okay. All right, we're going to start with one of our ebook and audiobook services. The Libby app provides access to our Digital Library of Illinois ebook and audiobook collection. This is the ebook collection that we've had for well over a decade now. You may know it as My Media Mall or as Overdrive. The website used to be called My Media Mall, but has now been rebranded as Digital Library of Illinois. Overdrive is the company that provides the ebooks, and they called their first app the Overdrive app, but now they have released a new app called Libby, although it's been around for a year or 2 already. Overdrive created the Libby app in order to streamline the process of checking out and downloading the ebooks. And with the Libby app, Overdrive eliminated the use of an Overdrive account. The Libby app only needs to know your home library, us, and your library card number. We found that a lot of the troubleshooting we were doing with the Overdrive app stemmed from that Overdrive account. So we've been very happy that they've released this new app, since we're not dealing with those accounts anymore. But the Libby app isn't completely replacing the Overdrive app. If you use Overdrive and you like it, you can stick with it. The Libby app is available on iOS, on Android, and on Windows 10. It is not available for the Kindle Fire. Fire users still have to use the Overdrive app, and this is because Amazon has to approve the Libby app for their Amazon App Store, and even after 2 years, they still haven't agreed to it. So I'm thinking that's a battle Overdrive might not win with them. After you download and install the Libby app, the app will walk you through the setup steps. It's going to pinpoint where your home library is. It's going to ask for your card number, and then it saves that information. You shouldn't have to put it in again. The Overdrive app has always been a little hit or miss with trying to remember library card numbers. Libby has greatly improved upon that. Another advantage to using Libby is that it's easier to juggle multiple library cards or more than one library if you have library cards from different libraries. Once your app is set up, you can start searching for books. When you open up the app, you'll see that you have 2 options on the bottom of the screen. On the left-hand side, we have Library, and on the right-hand side, we have Shelf. Library takes you to the website. It's where you go to search for the books. Shelf is where your books will go once you have borrowed them and downloaded them. I took a screenshot of tapping on Library, so we end up seeing the main page of the website. This looks very similar to what you would see on a computer. We have a search feature at the top of the page, so you can type in a title or an author. If you scroll down the page, you'll see a lot of what they call featured collections that you can browse through, or there is an explore link. sort of in the upper right-hand corner, and you could use that to browse for books as well. Audiobooks will have little headphone symbols on them, so you'll want to pay attention to whether you see headphones or not to make sure you're checking out the format you intended to check out. And if you want more information on a book, you tap on the cover and you'll be taken to the detailed information page. So here we are on that detailed page. You'll see a plot summary, and off to the left you'll have more information about the book, such as the release date. If it's a book in a series, you'll also get that information. They didn't used to have that, and now they've added that to the website, so we're really thrilled about that. And if you happen to be looking at the page for an audiobook, you'll also see the total running time for that book. I really like that because I don't necessarily want to check out the 20-hour audiobook when I can really only focus for about 7 hours. If you do want to borrow this book, tap on the borrow button over on the right-hand side, and you'll be taken to a confirmation screen where you have to tap borrow again. So they'll let you back away from the book if you tapped on borrow by mistake. But I want to point out, because not too many people realize this, that before you confirm the borrow, it tells you how long you're going to check out the book for. So up at the top, it says I'm checking it out for 21 days, and I can tap on that number. So I could take it down to 14 or 7 days, but I don't ever really do that. But the default setting is 14, so if this is your first time using it, you'll want to tap on that number so you can give yourself more time. Once you've picked your checkout period, you tap on borrow to confirm, and then as long as you are connected to Wi-Fi, the book will automatically download into your shelf. This is another change from the Overdrive app where you had a couple of more extra steps to actually download the book. Here it's all automatic. At this point, I go to my shelf, and there's the book I checked out. There's the book I checked out. It has downloaded. I picked an ebook, so it downloads very quickly. If you pick an audiobook, it will take a little bit more time because those are larger files. To get here, I can also tap on shelf at the bottom of the screen. It takes us to our loans page, but you can see up top that you have a couple of more options. There's also a page for holds, and there's a page for tags. We're looking at the loans right now. If I were to tap on holds, I would see all of the holds I have placed. Tags refers to tagging books as I want to read it in the future, or I liked it, I disliked it. I don't have too many patrons who do tags, so we're not going to worry about that right now. But if you want more information on that, you can track me down at the library, and we can go over it. In our loan shelf, when we're looking at the cover of the book, we have a manage loan option. I like to point it out because this is how you can return books early if you want to. You don't have to. Books will automatically return themselves after 21 days. When your time is up, they just take it from you. So yes, they take it from you, which means no late fees. So we really like it for that reason. But Libby will only let you check out 5 books at one time, and I do have some patrons who check out the full 5. If one of your holds comes in, you have to give up one of your books in order to be able to check out your hold. So that's why they give you the return early option, in case you need to make room. Also, if you return early, that will sometimes help us with our wait list. So we appreciate it if you can, but you don't have to. And we also really like that they have a renew loan option. It's grayed out on the screen because I wasn't near my expiration date yet for my book. But the renew option will turn on when you're 2 days away from when they're going to pull the book from you. When you tap on renew, as long as there are no holds, they will give you another 3 weeks with that book. If there are holds, they'll put you on the wait list, but they'll tell you that they're doing that to you. If you scroll to the bottom of the loans page, you'll find the link to your timeline. And this is a history of what you've been checking out with Libby. So our patrons like that because it's keeping a list for them, and that way you can always check your timeline if you can't remember whether you borrowed something through Libby. This timeline is only saved in the Libby app. Overdrive doesn't have access to it, and neither do we at the library. It's only in the app. And now a couple of things about settings. The little Libby head in the upper right-hand corner will open up your settings menu. I have 3 screenshots here. The first one gives you the option to see library cards. So when I tap on that, and when I tapped on that, I took the second screenshot. It shows me the card that I have in the Libby app. But you also have the option to add a library card. So I have some families who do that. They use one device, they load all of their books onto the same device, they have everybody's library cards in the Libby app. And when you're checking out books, if you have more than one Huntley card in there, the Libby app, the Libby website will ask you to pick out which library card you actually want to check out the book on. And you also have an option for add a library. That comes in handy if you have a library card from another library. So we have a lot of patrons who spend the winters in warmer climates, Arizona or Florida, and they'll have a home library there that they have a library card from. You can add that library, you search for it by name or by zip code, and once it pulls it up, it will ask you for the library card for that library, and you can switch back and forth between the websites and your library cards and use both services in one place. And our third screenshot shows you the options for when you tap on Setup Libby. Change download rules is the important one. The default is set to only downloading when you are connected to Wi-Fi. And I generally advise leaving it there unless you travel a lot and you only check out ebooks. Because if you turn it off, then you can download your ebooks over your data plan. I don't think I would turn it off if you do audiobooks because those are larger files. So unless you have an unlimited data plan, you may not want to download audiobooks that way. Now we will move on to our online magazine collection. It's called RB Digital. We have about 60 titles available. Once you check out the titles, these never expire. You can keep them as long as you want to. We also have access to some back issues in there. And by back, I mean going back to when we put them into the RB Digital collection. It doesn't go back for years and years. Some of you may remember this collection as Zinio. So there used to be a Zinio app that went along with it, and it was a little cumbersome because you had to go to our website in the browser, and then when you did the download, you had to go back into the Zinio app, and you ended up switching back and forth quite a lot. Zinio was also a paid subscription service for individual customers, and sometimes our patrons ended up on the paid site and got very confused about what was going on. The company that provides access, RB Digital, eventually decided to do away with Zinio and break their partnership and create their own app. That's why we have the RB Digital app now. They created their own app to use, and they were able to smooth out some of those problems. If you haven't used RB Digital before, now you can set up your account directly in the app. So if you're using it on a tablet, you can bypass our website altogether. Just download the app and register an account. When you download the app and install it, you're going to see the big login button. But if it's your first time using it, there is a register now option underneath it. When you choose register now, they're going to ask you to pick your country, your state, and then to find your library. And once you've done that, you're going to see the second screenshot that I have here, where you put in your library card number. It's how they know you're one of our patrons. You're going to put in a username, a password, your first name, and an email address. For simplicity, we tend to advise that you should use your email address as your username, and then there's one less thing you have to keep track of. Once you fill out that form, you're in, and the app is going to remember you, so you don't have to keep logging in every time you use it. And here I'm showing you what the app is going to look like. You'll have 3 little lines in the upper left-hand corner, which will open a menu. There will be an option for magazines and an option for checked out. Tapping on magazines will take you to our magazine collection. So you'll see all of the titles that we have available. If I see a magazine that I want, I tap on checkout, which is a little hard to see because it's red on a black background. Or you can tap on the cover of a magazine. And when I tap on the cover, I'm taken to the details page for that magazine. I still have the checkout option, but I now also have the option to view all issues, and tapping on that is what takes me to the list of all the back issues that we have available. you can then go and check those out. If I decide I want to check out the current issue of a magazine, after I check it out, I'm going to get a little pop-up that asks me if I want to automatically check out the next issue. If I make the check mark to agree to that, what happens when the next issue comes out is that RB Digital sends me an email saying my issue is ready, I should go into the app to read it. When I go into my app, the magazine has joined the list of my checked out magazines. I will still have to download it though. RB Digital is not automatically pushing out the downloads to your app. The left-hand side menu will also have an option for my account, so that's the screenshot that we're seeing here. I want to point out that the downloads is automatically turned on to only occur when you are connected to Wi-Fi. And the reason for that is because magazine files are very large as well due to all of the images that they have. Unless you have an unlimited data plan, I'd probably leave it over the Wi-Fi. The download will run a little faster over Wi-Fi as well. And auto download of titles is also turned off, which means you'll have to tap on each magazine individually in order to download it. I have kept mine turned off because I like to control how many I'm downloading in one go, but you might want to turn it on if you don't want that extra step. And now we'll move on to our library catalog and our library app. Both the catalog and the app allow you to search for items that are owned by our library, and they'll also let you search for items owned at all of the other libraries in our system. So we're in a group with about 22 or so other libraries. The online catalog and the app will both let you place holds. It will let you see all of your checkouts, and you'll also be able to see a list of your holds. But we do have some differences between the two, and so that's what I'm focusing on, how they differ. You can access the online catalog in a browser on a computer or also on a mobile device. They say it's mobile friendly, so you can pull it up on a tablet and it should look okay. It even looks okay on a smartphone, although sometimes the screen is so small it's a little hard to see. In the online catalog, but not in the app, you can update some of your information. We'll let you update your phone number, we'll let you update your email, you can update what notifications you would like to receive from the library. You can also turn on what we call a reading history. Our catalog will track what you have checked out once you return it. And you can also create a username to use instead of a library card number when you're signing into your account. You can't do any of those things in the app. The app is very streamlined, so it won't let you update contact information, login information. It won't let you turn on that reading history. But the big reason why a lot of patrons want to load the library app onto their smartphones generally is because it will generate an electronic card for you to use while you're at the library. And I'll show you a picture of that in a couple of minutes. But we're going to start with the online catalog in the browser. First off, we have to figure out how to get there. You'll want to start at our website, which is huntleylibrary.org. The handout in the back has that website listed on it. Our website up at the top says login or renew materials, and off to the right there's a link to quick catalog search. Both of those links will get you to our online catalog. But while we're on this slide, I want to point out that in our top menu underneath our logo, you have a link to online resources. If you hover over those words, the drop-down menu opens, or you can just click on online resources and it will take you to the page that lists them all. That's where you can find a lot of the links to what I'm talking about today. But I'm going to click on login, and when I do that, I'm taken directly to the login page where it's going to ask me for my username or barcode number and my password. If this is your first time logging in, you don't have a username because you have to create that on your own in the catalog. If you don't know what your password might be, call us at the information desk because we will reset it for you to get you in. And once you're in, you'll be taken to a page that lists your checkouts. But before we get to that, I included on the right-hand side a screenshot of the menu that you're going to see once you're signed into your account. So you can see it a little bit bigger here because it's going to look smaller in the next few screenshots that we have. The important ones are my record, items out, holds, and reading history. Once I logged myself in, it took me to my checkouts. I can see when items are due. I can see if I have any renewals left on an item. We have moved to an automatic renewal system, so 3 days before your items are due, if there are no holds on the item and there are renewals left, it just automatically renews for you. But you can also renew items yourself if you'd rather do that. At the bottom of the screen, it's not on my screenshot, but it's there. There is a renew button. So I make a check mark, I click renew, and the system will let me know if it worked or if it didn't. If you click on my record, which is on the left-hand side menu that we're not seeing right here, you're taken to a page that lists your information. Your address will be there, but you can't change that. Your phone number and your email address will appear, and you can edit those if you ever have to update them. You can also pick how you want to receive your hold notices. We can call you by phone, we can email you, or we can also text you now. If you select the text message option, you'll have to pick your carrier. And the people who created the system said that is very important. If you don't have a carrier listed, or if you have the wrong one listed, the messages aren't going to make it to your phone. If we have your email address, or if you picked texting as your holds notification, we can send you a message letting you know if items have renewed for you and what their new due dates are. But you have to turn that setting on. So where it says send email reminder notices, you would have to say that you want to receive the almost overdue or the auto renew notices. And then lastly, over on the right-hand side, there's an option to maintain your reading history. And by default, that is turned off for everybody unless you go in and turn it on in your account. We can't turn that on for you, but we can help you turn it on. And once you do that, it will start tracking. I hate to say tracking because that sounds like it's doing something sinister, but it starts recording all of the books that you return. And we'll come back to reading history in a minute. But I wanted to show you that if you scroll down in the My Record page a little more, you'll have options for changing your logon. And this is where you can create a username to use instead of your barcode number. Lots of patrons like to do that because we have a very long barcode number that's hard to remember, but you stand a better chance of remembering the username that you create. You can also change your password if you want to. So to get you started, we reset your password at the information desk, but then once you're in, you can go in and put a different password in. And this is our reading history page. So I turned on my reading history, and it's only tracked 5 things because this is my demonstration account, but my personal account has a lot more titles in there. I'm probably in the hundreds range by now in terms of my reading history, and as far as I know, there is no upper limit to that. You'll notice that you can select titles and then delete them. There's a delete button at the bottom, and the reason for this is because the system tracks everything you're returning. There's no guarantee that you actually read or watched or listened to everything you checked out. I'm really bad about that. I check out tons of things. I only maybe get to half of them. So then I go in and delete what I didn't really get to, because otherwise I'm going to confuse myself down the road when I'm trying to remember what I've looked at or read before. This is our holds page, and this will show you all of the titles that you're waiting for. You can cancel a hold here if you decide that you don't really need the book, or maybe you got the item from a different place. I want to make sure that everyone realizes you can also suspend your holds. And by suspending, I mean that we pull you out of the wait list for a while. And then when maybe you go out of town for a couple of weeks and you don't want your holds coming in. So we pull you out of line, and then on the date you tell us you'll be back, we put you back in line so you don't lose your place. If I decide to suspend a hold, this is the screen I will see. I have to put in a date for when my hold should go back into effect. And now we'll move on to the library app. The library app is providing access to our online catalog in a more streamlined manner. Most patrons are using this on their phones. And I'll repeat that the app will let us update our contact information or our login information, and we can't turn on our reading history. You still can search for items at our library or at other member libraries, and we can pull up your account information. The first screen you're seeing there is the home screen. If I tap on my account, it will pull up the different things in my account. So I'll have a bookshelf, which shows me everything I currently have checked out. Held items shows me my holds, and reading history will show everything that I've been returning. My bookshelf is the first screenshot on this slide, so I have a list of all my items currently checked out. Items will automatically renew, but I have a renewal button under every book if I want to do the renewal myself. The held items screen is the middle one. It shows me what I'm waiting for. I can cancel a hold from here if I want to. What it won't let me do is suspend the holds. I have to be on the website in the browser to do that. And then the reading history is the third screenshot. All it's doing is showing me a list. I can't delete anything from here. I have to be in the online catalog in the browser. The main screen of the library app also had an option for events, and that's the first screenshot that you're seeing here. It's going to take you to the events that are going on at the library on the day that you're looking at it, but then you can move into the future, or you could also look at past events. You can register for programs from the app if you want to. It's why we have a register button. But if you're looking at an event that is maybe a month or more in the future, you'll have to tap every single day to get to it. So that is a little bit cumbersome. You could always just call us and we'll take care of it for you. And our last screenshot shows the reason why patrons have this installed on their phones. They want to generate that library card on the phone so that they don't have to carry the physical library card anymore. This barcode will scan at our self-checks. Unfortunately, it doesn't scan at the scanners that we have at our desks because our scanners are too old to be able to recognize that. Maybe someday we'll get updated ones. I don't carry my physical library card anymore because I always have my phone. So that's what I'm using when I'm trying to check out items from the library. We'll move on to Hoopla. This is another ebook and audiobook collection with some extra stuff thrown in. We also have comics, music, movies, and TV shows. You can access Hoopla on a computer, or you can download the app to use on a smartphone or a tablet. And the nice thing about Hoopla is that all of the titles are available all of the time. You never have to place a hold on anything. But the checkouts work a little bit differently. You're limited to 5 per month. If I check out all 5 of my titles today, they cut me off. I won't get any more until the first of the next month. On a computer, you end up streaming content. That's why patrons tend to download the app if they can. On the app, you can download content. When you first sign up, you're going to be asked for your home library. They'll ask you for your library card number, and in this case, you do create an account with an email address and a password. Once you've created the account, then you can sign in with that same account on multiple devices if you're using more than one device. Patrons who read ebooks and audiobooks a lot of times will ask us, well, how does this differ from the Libby Overdrive collection? So I'll let you know now that Libby tends to have more of the popular best-selling titles and authors. But the trade-off for that is that you end up having to place holds on them a lot of times. So you won't find as many of the most recent titles in Hoopla, but the collection, especially for audiobooks, is still a pretty good one. If I have patrons who are audiobook listeners who are maybe having trouble finding stuff to check out in Libby because the audiobook collection is small, I'll suggest that they try Hoopla because they tend to find a lot of audiobooks in there that they'd like to try. Hoopla looks very similar on a computer and in the app, but I wanted to point out how you can browse for things. So this is a screenshot from the desktop view on a computer. After you're signed in, you'll have a search box at the top, and then if you click on browse up there, you can browse all of the different collections. So you pick what you're interested in. And our options are audiobooks, movies, music, comics, ebooks, and television. If we look at the app, they had to condense things a little bit. So our menu has moved to the bottom in the gray, which is probably a little hard to see, but we have videos, music, books, and the search option. So they had to condense video. You'll find the movies and the television shows there. And they also had to condense books. That's where you'll find ebooks, audiobooks, and comics, if you're interested in those. And My Hoopla will take you to what you currently have checked out. So that's where you find any current checkouts. I tapped on books in order to browse the audiobooks collection, and you'll see that you have 3 tabs sort of in the middle of the screen that say popular, recommended, or featured. Recommended is based on what I have checked out in the past. I read a lot of mysteries. I tend to check them out in Hoopla, so that's why you're seeing all mysteries in my recommendations, but there is a link to edit your recommendation settings. So you can tell Hoopla, I want you to suggest other things. When you tap on a cover, you're taken to the page where you can check the title out by tapping borrow. There is more information about the plot farther down the screen. I just didn't take a screenshot of that. And once you tap borrow, the book is checked out to you. Hoopla doesn't give you a chance to confirm it or to back away from it. So be very sure you actually want to borrow something before you tap that borrow button, because it will use up your checkout. If you are on a tablet or a smartphone, you will get a download to your device option. And I would suggest downloading it so you just have it on your device and you don't have to worry about the internet connection. I'll take a couple of minutes to describe something new that they're doing. They have made what they call the Hoopla Book Club Hub. You can't access this in the app. You have to go to the website in the browser. I've got the URL up on the screen, but I also have bookmarks in the back if you need to take the URL home. Each quarter they're releasing what they're calling a Spotlight Selection title. This is a title that is available in the Hoopla collection. It's always available, usually in both ebook and audiobook format. And the idea is that if you have a book club, any members in the group that use ebooks or that can use digital audiobooks will have easy access to this title. We place holds for a lot of book clubs at our library, and we think this could complement what we do for your club if you pick a title from the Hoopla selection. If you go to the website, you'll see what the current title is, but you can also see past titles. And that way, if any of your members do the ebook part, they could just go to Hoopla to check things out. But we will still place holds on physical items for your book club members. And I took a close-up screenshot of the supplementary materials that Hoopla provides for these titles. They'll provide questions and answers with the author. They'll put together a discussion guide, and they'll also put together a list of recommended reads in case book club members want other similar types of books, or maybe you want to pick one of the recommended reads as a book club title. There will be a link at the top of that page that will take you to past selections. So this was the one from summer, and there's probably a spring one and maybe one going back to the year before that. So that will give you a few options if you're looking for something for your book club. Now we'll move on to our language learning program, which is called Mango. They have over 70 languages to choose from, and they also include English for foreign speakers. You can use Mango on a computer, or there is an app that you can download to a tablet or a smartphone. Mango will let you try it as a guest, but ultimately they'd like you to create an account because that is how they track your progress in one of the language courses. And we have some differences between using Mango on a computer and using the app. First off, if you're using Mango on a computer, you're streaming all of that content through your internet connection. If you want to download lessons, you will have to use the app on a mobile device. In the last year or so, they've tried to make their system more robust. So they have added more content and new options to their popular languages, and that's what I'm going to point out in the next few slides. I'm going to start with the desktop version that you would usually use on a computer. I'm signed into my Mango account, and I selected Spanish as the language that I would like to learn. I'm somewhat fluent in Spanish, which is why I'm using this as the example. I don't think I would need to start from the beginning of the course. On the left-hand side near the bottom, there is an assessment option, which will let me take a placement test. If you have some familiarity with the language, maybe you don't need to start from the very beginning. And if you look on the right-hand side, we have a review option. We'll come back to that in a couple of minutes. But you only see these two options on the website on a computer. You're not going to see these options in the app. When I clicked on assessment, the program starts giving me a test. So it gives me a conversation to listen to, and it tells me what I should be focusing on the conversation. Once I listen to it, the program starts asking me questions. So I had some multiple choice questions I needed to answer, and the program will track, am I getting them right, am I getting them wrong? The assessment can take anywhere from 5 to 25 minutes. You'll make it to the 25-minute mark if you're answering questions correctly. I tried doing this for French and I was out in less than 5 minutes, I think, because I understood none of the conversation. And I wasn't expecting this. The screenshot on my left-hand side asks me to build sentences. So they gave me a question in English. In this case, it says, do you have an idea of what we can do if it rains? And I had to translate it into Spanish, but it gave me all the words. I just had to know the words and get them into the right order. My mother would be very pleased to know that I made it all 25 minutes in the assessment. And the right screenshot shows that Mango jumped me to Unit 3, Chapter 5. That's maybe the halfway point of the Spanish language program. I went to the app on my smartphone, and it picked up right there. I didn't have to go through the earlier parts of the program. The review part is essentially flashcards. You can test your recall of the words and of what you're hearing. I didn't have any review option for Spanish, but I did with French since I'm still in the first lesson. And it gives me the English. I'm supposed to try to say it in French. And on the second screen, it asks me, did you get it right or did you get it wrong? And I was marking everything wrong, which meant Mango kept cycling through all of the flashcards. Once you start clicking yes, then you'll end with the whole flashcard thing. The desktop and the app also have two new features. Both of them have this. They have listening and reading features. So in the middle of the screen, you'll see that in the second row of bubbles, I have listening and I have reading. And this is so that you can listen to a conversation. You can also read it, and then you can test how well you're understanding it. When I clicked on listening, they gave me a conversation in French. It's broken up into smaller chunks. I could listen to it as many times as I needed to. And then they asked me questions about it, multiple choice, which is always very helpful, to see how well I was understanding it. It lets you know right off the bat, did you get it right? Did you get it wrong? I was getting most of them wrong. Then I picked reading, and it shows me the text, the same one I was listening to, but now I can see the words, and it asks me the same questions to see how much I'm understanding. In this case, I did better than listening, so I was very proud of that. But I really like that they put this in. This wasn't in before, so now you get to test, are you really picking up what you think you're picking up? And I am sad to report that after all these years of trying to pick up French from Mango, I found that I have not picked up very much at all. I will keep trying. Now we'll move on to a couple of resources that haven't changed very much, but I like to mention them because I like the content that they have. Lynda.com is an online video learning platform, and they cover all sorts of topics. So they have business classes, they have music classes, but they also have computer and software classes. So how could I not mention this to the Sun City Computer Club? They have training videos for Microsoft Office products, for Windows, for the Mac operating system for iPad, iPhone, and for Android as well. For lynda.com, you'll sign in with your library card number and your library card PIN, which is the password to our online catalog. If you don't know what it is, call us. We'll figure it out. Once you sign in, Lynda will take you to what we call your dashboard. On the left-hand side, it's keeping track of courses that I have been watching. So I have easy access to getting to it. And then to the right of that, I can browse. Learning paths up at the top are several courses grouped together so that you are doing in-depth learning. One course can be up to a couple of hours long, which means if you're doing a learning path, you are devoting several hours to the topic. But underneath the learning paths, if I don't want to devote that much time to stuff, you can browse other things. You can see new classes that they've added, popular classes. You can see recommendations, and they are basing the recommendations on what you have previously watched. You can also see what is popular at our library by clicking on popular at your organization. And as you're browsing classes, I think you can see it. You'll see a thumbs down next to the class, and if I click on that, they'll remove it from my recommendations. I won't see more classes like that. And then there's also a plus sign. That will add something to my playlist, and I like to add stuff to my playlist because I tend to forget that I was interested in something. We can also browse by clicking on the library button next to the search box. You'll have broad categories on the left, and when you hover up over one of those categories, you can see different topics. You could also type something into the search box and see what Lynda will come back with. I decided to do a search for Windows 10. Lynda was very helpful and came back with over 4,000 results. That's a lot. So you'll want to use the filters on the left-hand side to try to narrow things down. They have a beginner filter, which is a good place to start. But in this case, you'll see that beginner is 4,500 results, so that's not very helpful. I feel that their filters used to be better, so they could improve upon that again. But if you are having trouble finding something at your level, we have found that adding the words essential training to your search will help, because a lot of their beginner type videos actually have that in the class title. When I add essential training to Windows 10, my very first result is Windows 10 essential training, and that's exactly what I was thinking of when I did the search. Once you pull up the course, you can just start watching from the beginning and make your way through it, but on the left-hand side, you have what I would call chapters. You can skip around. You don't have to watch everything in order. A lot of times I'll skip the first introductory videos and just jump into something a little farther down the list. I'll point out that my name appears in the upper right-hand corner, and when I click on my name, I open up a menu. That's what you're seeing off to the left of the screen. My playlists appear in that menu. I've added courses that I want to watch. I also add courses that I'm currently watching so I can find everything in one place. And then the second screenshot shows you what is in my main playlist. I have 6 courses on there, but I have also created other playlists to try to keep things a little more organized, and that's what's off to the left-hand side of my main courses. So I created a classes playlist, a cloud one, an Android one, and I create them by clicking on the blue Create New Playlist button. And we also have the option to edit playlists. So that's how I delete stuff. It's how I organize stuff. And now I'll move on to consumer reports. At the library, we keep 4 years of this in print copies, and if you ever come to the information desk and say, I need ratings on something, we'll usually pull those out for you. But the magazine doesn't always cover everything. My favorite example is we get a lot of patrons who ask for the ratings on furnaces, and this is something that Consumer Reports doesn't rate. They say this is because so many factors go into picking out a furnace that they don't feel they can accurately rate them. And so many times the magazine just lists nothing for furnace, which would lead you to believe, oh, they've never written anything about it. But if you go to our online version of Consumer Reports, they have put together a buying guide for furnaces. So they'll tell you what to watch out for. They'll also mention brands and give the brands reliability ratings. So this is what we'll do when we don't find something in the print version of Consumer Reports for you. We also like the online version because they update it more frequently than they can update the print version. We will gladly look stuff up for you in the online version. You can also do it from home because they provide remote access. They will ask you for your patron ID, which confuses everybody, but when they ask for patron ID, what they really want is your library card number. This is what the home page is going to look like after you've signed in with your library card. They like to feature different products on the main page. They'll feature buying guides. They'll also do feature articles. I like to go to the home page just to browse and see what they've been writing about, but there is a search box at the top if you have something specific in mind, or you have a product reviews link, and when you click on that, you get to browse the list instead of having to search for something. I decided to click on dishwashers in that list. And once you do that, it takes you to the products page where they'll give you an overview of it, or you can skip to the ratings or the recommended models, and they'll also have the buying guide, which is where they give you the information about what to look for and where they will give you information about different brands. A lot of times, if they do ratings for the item, what they'll say about the brands is it mid-end, high-end, what is the pricing like, or if a company stands out for some reason. I thought I'd click on the ratings so you see what they look like in the web version. We have filters on the left, and I like using those because it's not on the screen, but if you scroll down, they've got a price filter. I have seen prices go as high as 3,000. I usually drag that all the way back into the hundreds somewhere. And we can print this out for you at the library. This ends up being much bigger than what you would see in the print version. So sometimes patrons will say, I just want the recommended list in that case, but we'll print everything out for you if you'd like to take it home and take a look at it. Okay, we're almost done. Thank you for paying attention all this time. But I just wanted to point out that our newest resource is called Creative Bug. This one is only about a year old, and it provides access to over 1,000 arts and crafts video classes. It has beginners classes and advanced classes, and it covers all sorts of things: knitting, crocheting, sewing, painting, jewelry making. I was expecting all of those to be in this kind of resource, but I was really surprised when I saw that they had things like cake and cookie decorating. They had one on how to make truffles. I wasn't expecting the food stuff to be in there. You're able to print out instructions, patterns, templates, and recipes. You will need your library card number and online catalog password to access it, and everyone knows the drill by now. If you don't know the password, call us. We will reset it for you. Once you're in, you'll have a search box, so you can just type in what you're looking for, or you can browse the menu at the top. If you click on classes, you'll get broad categories like sewing or knitting, and then you narrow your search by the type of project within your category. I wanted to point out the inspiration link in the top menu because this will link you to the pattern library. So if you knit or if you crochet, you can click into the pattern library directly. You bypass the videos and you can just download patterns if that's all you want to do. Once you pick out a video, you'll have some options underneath, which are probably a little hard to see. I can see the chapter breakdown. So once again, I don't have to view the entire thing. I can go to the part that interests me. On the bottom, I can also pull up a materials list, or I can just download the pattern if there is one associated with it. What I really like is that the videos all have closed captioning that you can turn on. I tend to miss words when I'm listening to things. I appreciate that they've done that. I'll wrap it up now with two more pieces of information. If you are an Ella Johnson card holder, you have access to the resources that I spoke about today. They all provide access to Libby, Art Digital, Hoopla, Mango, Linda, Consumer Reports, and Creative Bug. You'll have to access those resources through their website, and if you're using an app, you'll have to pick Ella Johnson as your home library, but They all should work for you. Second, if you are trying some of these services at home and they're giving you a lot of trouble or you're just not sure what to do, please give us a call. My colleague Rob Avon and I help people set up their apps, or we help you use the product. We just ask that you call because that way we'll make an appointment, we'll bring you in, and we can devote an hour to helping you out. Thank you so much for your time.
Questions?
On ebooks, when are new releases available, and can we find out when they are available at that time?
I'm trying to remember if there was a new releases link anywhere on there. And I don't know off the top of my head. The tricky thing about the new releases is that they are usually not in the collections on the same day that the print is released. There is generally a delay, and the delay is unpredictable. I'll have to take a look though to see if there's a way to pinpoint them, and the new releases would end up being in Libby, not in Hoopla. Once I'm done here, I will go look at my phone to see if I can figure out where it is.
And we have one or two snowbirds in the audience. Are they able to use this remotely? If they're in Florida or Arizona or?
Yes, as long as your card number is in there, it should work. We have patrons who use it internationally as well, and it seems to work just fine.
Pam, over here. There we go,
Oh,
Pam.
there, okay.
Thank you, Pam, great job. Listen, I go to the library and I want 3 books. You don't have the 3 books, so you send to some other library, maybe even 3 different libraries. Now, how do those books get to your library, and how do they get back to the original library?
Okay, so this would be for physical items that we're bringing in.
Correct.
So within our system, we have vans that have delivery routes. So the request goes out, and I believe it's sent out randomly. There isn't one library we always try first. That library pulls it, they get it on the van, and eventually it gets to us. So we've got the van system.
Thank you.
I take out ebooks and I put them and I download them in Kindle, which I can do in Media Mall. Can I do that in Libby and in Hoopla?
So it's a basic Kindle e-reader, or is it a Kindle Fire?
It's just a basic Kindle.
You can only do that through the website, the My Media Mall Now Digital Library website, and Hoopla won't work at all.
Will Libby work?
No, it won't, because it's an app and the e-reader can't support the apps.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes,
I have Kindle on my computer.
Yes.
If I go to one of them and I access one ebook, will it go into my Kindle library on my computer, or will it go into something else?
so on your computer, I think you're using the Kindle Cloud Reader.
Yes.
Is that, okay. So you can use the Digital Library of Illinois collection. And you end up being redirected to the Amazon page. On Amazon, you tell it to send it to the cloud reader, and it should show up on your computer.
Okay.
Hands on my back.
I too like to read mysteries. You mentioned you like to read mysteries. And I've read some that are set in places like knitting shops or other places. And I understand now there are some books out where the setting is in a stained glass studio type of thing. And I was wondering how I would track that down to see if that's correct.
If you call our information desk and say you heard there's a book, mystery book, Stained Glass Studio, that is probably enough information to let them track it down. So give us a call. I'm not familiar with that. I haven't heard of this, but I bet they can help you out. Recent one. Ooh, call them and then tell them to tell me what they came up with.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated.